People think successful people never wanted to quit. That's the biggest lie ever told about success. The people who never give up don't have stronger motivation. They don't have endless confidence. And they definitely don't wake up every morning feeling inspired. In fact, the strange truth is that the people who survive the longest often feel like quitting more than everyone else. So why don't they? What's happening inside their minds that keeps them moving while everyone else stops? The answer isn't motivation. It's psychology. And once you understand it, you'll never look at persistence the same way again. Imagine two people standing at the bottom of the same mountain.
Both are equally talented. Both have the same goal. Both start climbing. After a few hours, it starts raining. The path becomes slippery. One person says, maybe this isn't meant for me. The other quietly keeps climbing. Here's the interesting part. The difference wasn't created on the mountain. It existed long before they ever took the first step. Because persistence isn't something you suddenly find during hard times. It's something your brain has been building for years without you realizing it. Psychologists have discovered something fascinating. Your brain is constantly trying to answer one simple question.
What kind of person am I? Not, what do I want? But, who am I? That tiny difference changes everything. Most people chase goals. Persistent people protect identities. One person says, I want to become fit. Another says, I am someone who trains. One focuses on outcomes. The other focuses on identity. When motivation disappears, goals lose their power. But identities fight to survive. Because humans hate acting against the story they believe about themselves.
Not because they suddenly became lazy, because it no longer matches who they believe they are. Now, here's where things become even stranger. Have you ever noticed that children fall hundreds of times while learning to walk, yet they never think, walking just isn't for me? They simply stand up again, over and over and over. Adults don't do that. Adults fail twice and suddenly start questioning their entire future. What changed? The answer is surprisingly simple. Children see failure as information. Adults see failure as identity. A child thinks, that didn't work. An adult thinks, I don't work. One sentence destroys learning. The other creates it. And this brings us to one of the most dangerous psychological traps ever discovered: learned helplessness. Scientists once observed that when living beings experience enough uncontrollable failures, something unexpected happens. Eventually, they stop trying, even when escape becomes possible. Not because they can't succeed, because their brain has already decided they won't.
Someone gets rejected a few times, stops applying. Someone starts a business, fails once, never tries again. Someone gets heartbroken, builds emotional walls for years. Nothing physically stops them, only the memory of previous failure. Their brain quietly whispers, don't waste your energy. It feels like logic, but it's actually conditioning. Now here's the twist. The people who never give up experience the exact same failures. The difference is what they believe those failures mean. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask,
What is this trying to teach me? One question creates victims. The other creates learners. And your brain responds differently to each. But persistence isn't only about how you think. It's also about something much smaller: momentum. Imagine pushing a heavy car. The first push feels impossible. Nothing moves. You push harder. Still nothing. Then suddenly, it rolls. Once it's moving, keeping it moving requires far less effort. Human behavior works almost exactly the same way. Starting is painfully expensive. Continuing is surprisingly cheap. This is why people who never give up obsess over tiny actions, not giant victories. They understand something most people ignore. Consistency changes the brain. Every small action becomes evidence. Evidence becomes belief. Belief becomes identity. Identity becomes persistence. And eventually, persistence becomes success. But there's another hidden factor almost nobody talks about: pain. Most people believe persistent people feel less pain. Wrong. They often feel more. They just interpret pain differently. Imagine going to the gym.
Your muscles burn. One person thinks, I'm damaging myself. Another thinks, I'm growing. Same pain, completely different meaning. Your brain doesn't react to experiences, it reacts to interpretations. Meaning changes everything. The same criticism that destroys one person becomes fuel for another. The same rejection that convinces one person to quit convinces another to improve. Nothing changed except the story attached to the event. Now, let's talk about something almost everyone misunderstands: motivation. People wait for motivation before taking action. Persistent people reverse the order. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Think about the last time you cleaned your room. You probably didn't wake up excited, but after cleaning for 10 minutes, something happened. You wanted to keep going. Your brain rewards progress, not intentions. Waiting to feel motivated is like waiting for your car to start moving before turning the key. That's not how the system works. Here's another psychological secret: persistent people don't trust their emotions. It sounds cold, but think about it. Your emotions change every day, sometimes every hour. If your decisions depend on temporary feelings, your future depends on temporary chemistry. Imagine a pilot flying through thick clouds. He can't trust what his eyes are telling him. He trusts his instruments. Persistent people build mental instruments: habits, schedules, systems, rules. When emotions become because mastery is repetitive. Champions don't become champions by doing extraordinary things once. They become extraordinary by doing ordinary things thousands of times.